Good afternoon, happy hikers, and welcome to St. Luke's. Now I know what a chat room is. Now, have you locked your valuables in the trunk of your car? Do you have a spare key to the car? Do you have your OHIP card? Meet me at the Dundas Beer Store. I often wondered about that one. Kathy has made us beautiful name badges, which is a good thing as none of us look anything like the friends we knew on the trail. Thanks for coming to Liz's so-called farewell party. Not that she is leaving town, but just passing the torch, as it were, which hopefully will be picked up. Liz's hard work over 31 years of hiking has been exemplary. Her enthusiasm, dedication, knowledge, and selflessness has given us all very many hours of pleasure, fun, and exercise. Under the heading of hard work, she has fought tooth and nail with her computer in an effort to make lists of hikers, their postal addresses as well as their emails, lists of places to meet, lists of no apparent reason. You know the feeling. But she has persevered and beaten the computer, which reminds me that I am assuming everyone here knows what WWW stands for. Well, perhaps we should turn that into Wonderful Woman of the Woods when referring to Liz. Did you know that she tramped on most of the trails before September, both to make sure they were safe for us and to find new trails, ones that didn't have wobbly bridges, any ones that didn't have unreasonably steep hills, anywhere that ended up at a restaurant whose owner was delighted to welcome a noisy crowd with dirty boots and separate bills. There was Liz, researching it all for us, and I know that with the increased size of the groups over the years, parking became a headache for her. Thus her continual cry of carpool, carpool. On foul days when Liz cancelled, she would often go to the meeting place to make sure no one was stranded. Liz taught us to slide down the snowy hills of Shadok on plastic bags, to see the salmon spawning in the Grindstone Creek, how to read a map, how to walk slowly and steadily up a long hill if we wanted to reach the top. She pointed out historic spots and knew their details. She referred us to the new vineyards in the Niagara Peninsula where we could find wine tours, and she let us in on her secret recipe of mulled wine at Hanukkah and Christmas time. You'll find easy walks for the elderly, paths for wheelchairs, and strollers all in her books, and a plethora of other useful information. In fact, Liz worked tirelessly on her 4 books entitled Beautiful Walks in and Around Hamilton with Adrian Van Helderen's useful maps. Inscribed in one book is the dedication to which reads, to the happy hikers and their dogs. It's a wonder she didn't say to the happy dogs and their hikers, such was her love of dogs. Nobody loved dogs more than Liz. Her anticipation when she spied a dog coming towards us turned into genuine excitement upon discovery that she'd never met that particular dog or its owner before. There was lots to discover. She carefully examined the dog's chassis, the model, its headlights, color scheme, admired the undercarriage, and exclaimed with joy if the horn sounded, and then repeated the cross-examination of the owner. Some of you will remember her dogs that hiked with us. They were called Boots, Muffin, Hutch, Maddie, and Christy, and in Liz's all-encompassing backpack, she carried sustenance and curatives for both man and beast, or should I say beast and man. Which reminds me of the day, deep in the woods, God and Liz knows where, up to our ankles in mud with horizontal rain, we came across some ladders leading against the trees, and on top of the ladders were perched huge lights. Beside all this was a trailer with a friendly smell of smoke rising from the chimney. Hearing our voices, the door was thrown open, and does anyone remember who opened the door? Yes, Red Green, clutching his roll of duct tape. Liz chatted him up. But just as we were leaving, Red Green said to Liz, "Have you read my book?" "No," replied Liz. "Have you read mine?" The sign, "Private, keep out," on a gate was a challenge to Liz, and making sure the last hiker closed it, we sallied forth into the forbidden land. All Liz said was, "I know the owner. He won't mind, but please keep your voices down." We obeyed for 15 seconds before the rumble of our voices rose to its usual roar. Very seldom was Liz lost, but one day looked a bit startled. She suddenly said, "Where are we?" Ever resourceful, she strolled over to the nearest mailbox, removed an envelope, and announced in nonchalant fashion, "We're on Snake Road, number 344. And looking at the very ornate and barred gate beside the mailbox, said, "It's the Thompson house. Shall I see if they would like to treat us all to a cup of coffee?" Her interest in others was remarkable, always remembering names, letting newcomers know they weren't to hike alone, and sentences such as, "How's your new grandson?" or "Are your boots comfortable?" or "I'm sorry to hear that your father passed away. Did your husband get the job?" And most importantly, don't tell them there's a washroom round the corner, or they'll all want to go. Maybe you didn't know that Liz is an accomplished musician, and as soon as her 2 youngsters, Patty and Bob, left for full-time school, unlike Irma Bongbeck, she didn't sell their beds, but she did enroll at Mohawk for cello lessons. She has played in the Oakville Symphony Orchestra for many years, as well as the Dundas Valley Orchestra, by way of our Christmas concert, is on January 22nd, and I hope to see you all there. Liz was born and brought up in Montreal. She went to Westmount High School and then McGill University, and one day met a good friend of hers. Having established that they were both going to the same wedding, her friends stated that her cousin Arthur, who lived in New Brunswick, was also coming for the wedding, and since he knew nobody in Montreal, she was setting him up for 5 dates before the wedding, Monday to Friday. Would Liz be interested in taking Tuesday? Liz agreed, and on the appointed evening this handsome gentleman Arthur arrived. On Friday, Miss Tuesday became his date, and they've been dating for 52 years, and so have the dogs. Art has admitted to me that sometimes he has joined them in the doghouse. Rather than give Liz something she really didn't want, like the Hamilton Street Railway or a helicopter, it was decided that I should approach her outright. So one day when we were walking together, I said, "Liz, all your friends who are coming on October the 5th are hikers and would like to give you a present for all the pleasures you have given them over 31 years. And there might be 125 of them. Can you tell me what you'd really like to see? Which you would really like?" Silence. "Well, do you need a new bow for your cello?" She replied, "I already have a good bow, and I don't need a party at all. It's not necessary. I hiked because I like hiking with my friends and the great outdoors." "But still," I said desperately, "couldn't you give me a hint?" "No, parties just inconvenience people, and they're expensive, and I don't like putting them out." "Okay, then Liz, if I locked you in a room and wouldn't let you out until you told me..." "Well," she said, thinking it over, "I've never been to a live ballet, and come to think of it, neither have I been to a live opera." Bingo! We now had something to work on. You have made all that possible, Liz, as Liz has entertained us for 31 years, so here we wish to entertain you, Liz. Here is a gift certificate to the National Ballet of Canada for tickets to performances to be chosen by you, with the help of our resident hiking guru ballet fan, Simone McWalter. And another certificate to the Canadian Opera Company. It's your choice what you see, and there is no date limit to the certificates. But wait, there's more. There is also a generous check in the envelope, which we only suggest that you spend on pre-show dinners and then sink into the featherbed of a ridiculously expensive Downton Hotel, or 15 nights at the Y, so enjoy. Liz, this comes to you with all our love and thanks.